All right, you ready, Papaya?
All right. One thing I should say in advance is that Connie's the main driver of Papaya's life. I mean, I'm there to get her up in the morning and we interact a little bit, but we have some challenges, as my hand will show you.
Aww. Okay. So as you guys can see, Connie, Dan's wife, is actually on his mobile phone FaceTiming during this class because unfortunately she couldn't be present, and this is really her green cheek conure.
But Dan wanted to step up and be able to help out as much as he could, and we were really suspect that we were into a lot of trouble when he was like, whoa, that red belly stepped right up. We're like, oh boy.
Why was that so impressive?
But there were a few things that he kept saying during the red belly video where he's like, oh wow. We're like, uh-oh.
That's an awesome bird. And we were all kind of like, we're in for it with Dan.
That's why we looked at your bird, we were like totally like, oh my gosh.
I knew we were in trouble when your bird stepped up. He's like, whoa.
Oh my God.
Then let's start with this. Let me have you do targets through the cage.
Okay.
Have you done this before?
No, never.
Okay, so let me show you then first. And your treats again.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And has Connie, hey Connie, have you done target training with Papaya?
She might think I'm concerned about her going back in when we're done.
Okay, so let me do it through the cage then. We'll start there.
Yeah. And she has done target training with her. She gets her to turn and everything.
Perfect.
Oh gosh.
So see how I can't get bit that way?
Yeah. Yes.
I'll give you just the stick for now. So
okay.
Notice what I did is I slowly approached, and then she reached as far as she could through the cage bars. So go ahead and do that.
So with a stick as well, or
just the stick at first?
Okay.
Perfect.
Oh gosh.
And then remove the stick, give the treat.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so next time I'm going to have you do the same thing. So when we're talking, just kind of keep it out of view,
yeah.
right? So
okay.
Yep, like that. Next, I'm going to have you put the chopstick on the other side of the cage and have her target over there.
Okay.
And as soon as she touches it, I'll click. When you hear the click, remove the stick and give her the treat.
Go play.
All right, so we'll do the same thing, bringing her back. I want you to bring her back here when she's done eating. Oh, treat here. So she's still eating, so hang tight. Okay, she's finished, so lower right. Right there. Perfect.
Good.
Okay, so the reason I do that is to warm up the bird. Make sure that the treat has enough value that she's willing to climb all around to touch the stick because the treat's high enough value. If it was super full or you had garbage treats, she wouldn't do that. So that tells me that she's willing to work. Now, I hear Connie with some hesitation about getting Papaya out of the cage, and I see the hesitation from your hands.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I kind of have to leave that up to you. What I'm reading is that I think we'll be able to target with no problems.
Okay.
We may want to try, I'd be interested in your input on this, is maybe if we put this on like a table, we open both sides of the cage, and we just target her through it. And then when we're done, we just close it.
We could put it on top of this crate, but I don't know about a table, and I don't know if that crate will work because the handle's on top.
I'll propose it first, and then we'll take action. So then what I'd like to do is have you open one side, and then see if she's still receptive to a target.
Okay.
If she is, I mean, obviously she's out at that point, right? Once we do that, then we'll open up the other side, and then just have her target back and forth across through the cage.
Okay.
So she learns the cage can be a training area. It doesn't have to be some place of torture.
I'm trying to figure out how this opens in the back here. Never done this one.
So that little bar, does that not open?
Let's see. Does that lift up?
Maybe it's meant for kind of one-time assembly. Oh no, that goes.
Oh, look at that.
Does that come out and down? Oh, you little booger.
That's what Papaya likes to do.
This means it. Okay, so it doesn't open all the way up. That changed the plan a little bit, but we could do the same thing by opening here, and you can put the target stick through this to target her back in.
Okay.
And then target her out, target her back in.
Okay, so we're going to try opening it up first.
That's from
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
No, bird, hear my voice.
Okay.
Okay, so target her down here.
Okay. Here, Pie. Well, she landed. She landed on Dave's shoulder.
Yeah, it's not
That's
nice.
pretty typical.
All right, hang on a second.
Come on, Pie.
Got her. All right, here, I'll come closer. See if you can target her on this.
Okay. Here, Pie. Pie. This is your biggest challenge, I'll tell you right now. Come on, Pie.
She's coming to me. Trade.
Come on, Pie.
Does she mean feathers up or actually look?
Not
Okay.
great, but
Well, she did sort of there. As long as she doesn't bite Jamie's ear. That's what she loves to do to me.
I can barely feel her. She weighs like nothing.
I know. She loves being on people's shoulders. That's her thing.
okay, so hold still. I think I can. Come here.
Is that the camera? Is she interested in the camera?
She's sitting there.
Ah, she's just more curious about your back.
Yeah. She's like, I like this.
She's got some attitude too.
She's feisty. That's one of the. That said that the first time. Feisty bird.
Not.
Did we just trade again? Oh my gosh.
All right.
Did she? Oh, okay. Did she bite you?
Uh huh.
All right.
All right.
All right. Now target her on this.
I'm gonna
Okay.
be down so that I'm not a thing, although it doesn't seem to matter.
We're gonna have to through the cage.
We got
Through
some
the
mean
cage?
feathers going on. Is she
You can
fine that
find-
time? Oh,
Oh, you're good at good. All right. Through the cage it is. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Well, so about that, I could tell that I was at the end of the rope with this bird, and I had to do something or we were going to lose it for the entire class. I think, there was a lot of signs of like, okay, this bird is a little more wild than we expected. Combining that with Dan saying, whoa, it just stepped right up for the other bird, I kind of realized that we had a lot more steps to get to before we were going to try to do what we were attempting in that video.
That's why we looked at your bird. We were like totally like, oh my gosh.
I knew we were in trouble when your bird stepped up. He's like, whoa.
I mean, she'll step up when she's in the mood.
that's amazing.
Oh, she's in a mood.
Wow.
Yeah, she is today.
Those mean feathers were up in that cage.
Yeah,
The FU feathers, as you guys call them? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spelled A-F-E-W.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
We were doing a master class in Utah, and we have slides, and I'm like, all right, everybody write down FU feathers. And I was like, what? I'm like, yeah, write down FU feathers. So they all write it in their books, right? And I flip to the next slide, and it says, few feathers.
Ah.
And our daughter is like just old enough where she was like starting to write. I think she's in first grade. And I look at her notebook and says F-U feathers. And I was like, we're gonna have to change this.
All right, should we try it again? How about right here?
That was good. Wasn't ready for it.
Sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
Okay, so what we're specifically looking for before we do more of this is I'm specifically looking for a gentle touch, not aggressive. So let me show you how
Okay.
we can get both.
Okay, here you go.
I'll take this. I got 2 seeds left. So if I go here, I'm not going to click for it. Watch how hard the bite is. Oh, that was actually pretty gentle. Come here. You can have it. What I'm looking for is when the cage bars are here, she can only reach her face through so far. And so I want to put the stick just barely in reach, so she has to touch it with her tongue. So it's going to be like here.
Like that.
That's too close.
Okay. Oh.
Woo! She was.
Oh.
So you
like
see
that.
how she just hit it with her tongue?
Yeah, yeah.
So now that we've done it, we'll move that for a sec.
She was coming for it.
Yeah, she's pretty. We want to try to get targets that are associated with not heightened aggression. So birds will pair whatever emotion they have with the trick that they're learning. So both scenarios we have to be super careful. For Papaya, we have to be really careful that we're not getting like pissed off onto you. We're borderline.
Okay.
So on the targets that we do with her, we have to really focus on like, she might slam against a cage, but then we're gonna make her reach out with her tongue to touch the stick because she can't reach anything else further. And you can't be mutually angry while simultaneously touching some of your tongue, right? Like it's just, she can't be like pissed off touching the tongue.
Okay.
And so we can rewire the emotion that she has with the target, and hopefully that translates to whoever's holding the stick, right? As we just kind of experience it or not. But that's generally where we start. And then same for you guys, be super careful that you aren't pairing targeting with hormones. You won't even have the stick in there. She's got to reach all the way out.
So like right up there?
Little, so that was a little too close, but I didn't want you to pull it back when she was coming for it, or it's like, hey, grab this.
Oh yeah.
Right? Okay. You don't want to do that to her. That's true. He's like jerk.
She's already ticked off. She's ticked off enough as it is. So, yeah. All right, so another one.
So here's the way I would do it. So you can always come closer. So we'll tap. We might have lost her for a little bit. Okay, so you want it? Let's wait a little bit. Okay, I think she's coming. We might have lost her.
Okay. All right, take a break on her. We'll take a break, Papaya. How's that sound?
But you could see how I was holding you back a little bit. Even you were still like pushing forward, I was holding back. So the tendency is you want to be here, and then she knows what to do. So now her face is smashed up against it. Let's bring it gently towards so she can touch with her tongue. So let her get there first, as long as she's willing to. I would say a lot of it's diet related as well. Like picture
so much. She's just wound
picture
up.
like your best friend's diabetic, and every time you see him, you give him a bag of Skittles. Right? He might be able to enjoy it and manage it with insulin, but he's going to have these really high highs and really low lows. And I feel like birds that aren't on the proper diet go through those same highs and those same lows, and so they're okay, and then they just bite me. And then you go into that checklist of hormones. You got 3 out of 10 or 5 out of 10 boxes checked. Now we're just really not set up for success because of diet and sleep. The way she was with us, like I think between the diet and sleep getting fixed, I think it'll bring all that down to like a really manageable level. And make it so you can also cue those tricks. And I think but the blue and gold was on a bad diet as well in the last class and had similar like really heightened highs. And
where we would just have to stop interacting because it was skyrocketing so quickly and escalating so quickly that we're like, we don't want to train in that mindset, so we would have to wait for it to kind of
it's like taking a pre-workout before going to the gym, and then you end up not going to the gym and you're like like that's what these birds are going. Man, I've had that happen. It's no fun.
Oh my god. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
My aha moment is to click train through the cage, which is really, really good. But also the big one is diet, because diet is creating heightened behavior in her, and she's not winning, and we're not winning with that. So I'd say that's the big takeaway is changing that diet.
So we say it all the time, diet and sleep are foundational to the relationship with your bird and to your success that you can have with your bird. They can literally change up to 80% or more of behavior in parrots for the good.
I just had a consult where somebody was like, in the synopsis was, hey, I want to fix these problems, and between the time they booked the appointment and did the call, they fixed the sleep, and they're like, so those aren't problems anymore.
Right? We hear that all the time, and you can actually really see it at play in this video. Not only does Dan not really have a relationship that he's built with Papaya, so he's really not ready to even engage with this bird outside of the cage yet, as was made very obvious. But also his foundations aren't in place to be successful whether the bird is in or out of the cage. So we really need those to be put into place for him to be able to go forward and be really successful with Papaya. So please take diet and sleep seriously. They are your foundations. We always go back to basics, even with our most advanced free flight students. Anytime they're having an issue, we always check everybody's foundational steps, and we go back to basics and do the checklist of sleep and diet.
All of the techniques that we use to help convert your bird to a better diet or to give you little tips on how to make sure your bird's getting the right sleep, you can check out our website, birdtricks.com, and specifically the beginner course. I want to give a huge shout out to Off the Hook Exotics for their amazing hosting of our masterclass.